All right, guys, as you can see in front of you, if you haven't noticed already, this is a K-bar knife. This is specifically the K-bar SLABBY, the 1310. I've done quite a few videos about this already. I actually just finished up a full demonstration, hard use review, and you can see the blemishes on the blade. Blade is still in great shape. I'm sure even once I clean this up, it'll look just fine, but still really sharp, very, very sharp edge. Everything looks fine. Spine looks fine, and I beat the crap out of this thing. So that's not why I called you out here. Video did well. It's going to be released very soon. But I wanted to basically, now that I got the review done, I wanted to get the review done with the original scales that it came with, because if you do end up getting this knife, you're going to want to know how the review was or how it handled itself with the scales that they gave you. What I am really looking forward to doing is changing up these scales to a package I got from Carroll's custom knife scales. I'm going to change up these scales, see how they fit and see how they work. I'm actually pretty excited to do so. But as far as taking apart, I did take apart the Allen key. You know, obviously you get the proper Allen key. I have it on a handle here, a lot easier. And you take it apart by basically taking out both sides of the screws. You have the fasteners on one side, you have the screws on one side. Take them all out and you're ready to go. Kind of take apart. You got to kind of mess with it a little bit to kind of get it in. I heard rumors that it's kind of glued, but it's really not glued. You just got to kind of mess around with it and move it around a little bit until it kind of dislodges, because the barrel is on the middle, kind of keeping it together, which obviously has to come off in order to get the other plates on, the other scales on. So let me work with this a little bit. Give me a second. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I had it off before and put it on again just for the video. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So you kind of just break it apart. You move it around a little bit. You break it apart. You see how the barrels already come apart. And you get pop the other one off. And here are the glass nylon scales that were on here before. Put those aside. I may not ever put those on ever again. And here is the actual tang. You have the hole in the middle, obviously for balancing purposes, and this is basically what it looks like. It is the full tang, the full length and the width of the blade all the way down into basically the connecting piece here, and that's exactly what your SLABBY looks like taken apart without the scales. Here are my custom scales from Lucas Carroll. Thank you, Lucas, for sending these over to me. These are some beautiful micarta. They look like the original leather stacked handles, which I'm pretty amped and excited to get these on for that reason. And just have to see basically how these fit. I believe it goes a little something like that. Which I did. It's like a balancing act. You got to have enough of it on each side, so each of the screw holes or the screw grooves kind of catch it, because if you don't, it's going to kind of spin and spin and spin, and it's not going to be able to come in there. All right, so there you have it, guys. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass, not because of the scales, but because you got to kind of keep an Allen key on each side to kind of screw this in evenly with the barrels, but whatever. Regardless, it's on there. Here are the Lucas Carroll scales, and I got to tell you, what a difference. I mean, look at how beautiful these micarta scales look on this SLABBY 1310 from K-Bar. Perfect fit. I even think the fit is better with these, because the way he designed it so there's no, you don't feel the tang. You felt the tang, a little bit of a lip on each side. He made it a little bit oversized, not oversized, but the right size, where it kind of hugs the tang a lot better, and you don't have that metal on each side. So big improvement. That was a genius way of doing this, because that was a problem with the old scales, that kind of the tang was kind of sticking out from underneath, and you felt it with your fingernail on each side. Now you can't feel it. You only feel the overlap of the scales on each side. You don't feel the tang is kind of sunken in between the scales, and the only thing you feel is the scales. You don't feel the metal. Not like you felt it really before, but big, vast improvement. Great job in kind of making the mold on this, Lucas. This is wild. This is just such a big improvement. This is exactly how the knife should have been from the get-go. In terms of the feel, the grip is a lot better. Lot better grip. No slippage, because I didn't feel like I was going to slip when I was like kind of doing a review, because you do have the guard here and the dog's head pommel here. Your hand was not going to slip, and you'll see when I do the review how firm this stays in your hand. But now with the added extra tactile feel of the texture of this micarta, your hand really just grips completely on the knife. Much better comfort, even more than before, of holding this knife with or without gloves. This thing is going to be wonderful. The metal is sunken in, big improvement there from the original right out of the factory, and it just looks so damn good. Now the balance is relatively the same, because that's really what I was concerned with the last time, is the balance. These are probably around the same weight, if not an ounce heavier, but it doesn't really affect the weight, the balance distribution. The balance distribution is still pretty good. I'm going to throw it the stump and do the same stump dropping test to see if it changed the balance, but I have a feeling it's really nothing that's that noticeable. But it does. It does act. The more and more I hold it, it does feel pretty damn balanced. So guys, one of the biggest concerns I had with this knife as far as changing the scales was the balance, because one of my favorite things about this knife when I first put it in my hand the first time, literally right out of the box, was the balance. I love the balance of the knife, and that's what really set this thing apart from the previous K-bars and many other knives I classify as fighting knives, because they have beautiful center weight balance. And I see that basically it's just about the same. The more and more I hold it, the more I see that nothing has changed. The scales are perfectly fine. Now, before I go any further, testing the balance a little bit, I have to emphasize again how perfect he made these scales. He made these scales to the point where the problem originally with the knife was the tang is kind of like the metal was kind of overlapping a little bit of the glass nylon scales, but he did it geniusly as far as surrounding them, hugging them to the point where it's a perfect fit now. And just a vast improvement over the original. All right, so we're going to do a 4-foot drop test, guys, via Donnie B all day. And this is a good way to see how it drops and if the balance sways right to left. And just exactly like it was initially when I did the review. Perfectly straight. Let me see if I can get you an angle here. Perfectly straight. It's probably even better balance now. Absolutely wonderful. So balance is exactly the way it was with the older scales, which again, that was one of the big things that I really liked about the knife, was the balance of the knife. I think it's still, a great throwing knife. Excellent penetration. It really lands really well and really digs into the wood. The grip of the knife is excellent, okay? It was equally as good. I didn't feel like this thing was ever going to kind of come out of my hand, because you have the stoppers on each side, which make it such an efficient, beautifully designed knife, which I really like. But adding in that extra grip here makes it even better. It makes it better to be able to change, if you're basically changing positions of the knife on the fly, you have a lot more of a secure grip to know that basically you can manipulate the knife any way you want, and it's going to be firmly grippy in the hand. The extra grippiness over the nylon with the micarta and the tactile feel, the grooves and the designs that he did, other than being absolutely beautiful and looking a little bit like the stacked leather of the original, it makes it so much more grippier. So 100% improved putting these scales on here. And here's another way to test the grip as far as the stabbing motion to the tire. Again, taking the firm grip, no slippage, but more grip in the handle. Yeah, no, it feels great. Definitely feels great. Goes right through to the other tire. Feels really good. Yep. Vast improvement, guys. Vast improvement. Definitely recommend it. If you own one of these, you got to check out Lucas Carroll. What I really want to do is now compare it with the original K-bar, the USMC K-bar, and look at the scales on both And now this is really a big improvement in aesthetics with the use of these scales and just the whole overall look and the feel and the texture of it. This is a big improvement over this. Even though I'm always going to love till the end of time these leather stacked handles because this is iconic. This is true. This is just so much better balanced, so much better of a knife in terms of moving it around and feeling the weight distribution. And now with the grip that you had kind of with this, a leather and a micarta grip, this is just much better knife. Let's see how it fits with the scales. Perfect. Look at that, guys. Much better. Now, all I need to do is change this to a leather sheath, and I am good to go. You know, reliving the original. You have a much better knife, and if I can match aesthetic with the leather sheath, it's great. But still, even just with the handle change here, I don't mind it at all. I can stay with the Kydex, but definitely needs a leather sheath, I think. But great job. This is the SLABBY, guys. I have a full demonstration coming out very soon on my channel. You'll see the first channel where I compared these two. The first video where I compared these two, which I think was a pretty damn good video. Check that out as well. And this is kind of just changing the scales with these Lucas Carroll at Carroll Custom Scales. Definitely check them out. I'll leave the link and an Instagram link in the description. He does an amazing job, the best out there, and you won't believe the scales that he can do for your knife. Check him out. Good job, Lucas, and video coming, detailed video on this very soon.